Hey guys, Ben Paynes here, and today we're back once again for another video, and this time we are taking part in the third round of the Club73 Weekend Series at Lydd Kart circuit. One that I was really excited for last year, as it was just a lot of fun, a really fast flowing circuit, and just can't wait to get back out on track today. Obviously we're coming off a few very good results in our last couple of events, obviously coming second at SRK, and I believe that we were 7th at the second round of Club 73. So this has in fact put us on pole for the A final in this one. So really excited to get out on track. Just want to try and break away from the rest of the pack as much as we can and see how we get on. Now, I'm unsure if I'm able to use the GoPro at this one. Gonna try my best, see what we can do. But if not, obviously, as always, when I'm not allowed to use my GoPro, I will give you guys some updates throughout the day. But before we jump into the footage or whatever I have, if you do enjoy this video, can you please leave a like on the video down below, as I really do appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button, as it really does help me out. But without further ado, we're going to jump into the rest of whatever I have, and we'll see how we get on today.
Yes guys, Alfie Richardson here. We are back with the Ben Paynes YouTube channel. We are currently at round 3 of the Club 73 Karting Championship at the Lydd circuit. As you can see, mid-race review, we currently have Ben Paynes in P3 coming along the main straight. At the minute he's doing pretty well, starting pole position, but he's holding his ground in P3. We'll see ya after the race.
So before we get into a little bit of a review of the race, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Alfie Richardson, who I actually didn't realise had recorded any of that mid-race review until after I'd got home and checked some of the footage out on my camera. So thank you to him for that little bit of a nugget that you guys could have. But just to jump into how the race actually went, we did start in pole position, as I mentioned. We were able to gain about a 1 to 2 second gap compared to the other people in the race. Unfortunately, there was a yellow flag due to some of the cones scattered around the track just sort of being knocked about. Obviously, I slowed down during the yellow flags, and this allowed everyone just to get right up my chuff coming into the rest of the race. So at that point, I was then having to defend, but I was able to gain a little bit more time ahead of the others until Sam May was able to overtake us for first position. Wanted to try and work with him for a fair few laps just to try and break away from the rest of the drivers that were all having a little bit of a scrap with one another. Unfortunately, this didn't quite happen. We then had Harrison Kirkham overtake us and Sam May for first position. I then re-overtook Sam May later into the race to move us back up into second again out of 10 drivers, and then I was hoping to sort of sit in between these two and sort of get dragged along. However, unfortunately, I did try to sort of set up a switchback on Harrison going into the top hairpin of the track, but it didn't quite work out, and I did actually lose 4 or 5 positions from this, putting me back down into 6th place. We were then overtaken by a couple of other people, I believe, so we were then down into 7th, and this is pretty much where we remained for until the last sort of 5 minutes of the race, where we were then able to make a last-ditch overtake coming into the last couple of laps of the race to move ourselves back into 6th position. So that is where we ended up from first place. So a little bit disappointed in myself, as I never really want to go backwards in a race, but it is still solid points regardless. And talking of points, I'm going to leave the points for the overall championship up on the screen now, and I do believe that we are in 12th position overall. So although we've had a couple of rounds where we haven't been on the podium, we've been in 6th and 7th, it's still not the end of the world, and there's still a lot of rounds left to go. So honestly, still really happy with how we did, racing the best drivers in the championship, and I'm just hoping that we can bring some better results as the year goes on. Now, the next race is in fact at Red Lodge, and this is a track, as you guys know, that also don't allow cameras, I don't believe, and I really didn't enjoy it last year, getting taken out twice in the same race by the same person. So I'm hoping to have a little bit of redemption this year. But in the meantime, guys, that does in fact bring us to the end of the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I know it's been a bit shorter, and it's always a struggle when I'm unable to sort of record any on-track action. So I'm going to try and take some steps so I'll mitigate this in the future. So I promise we will have this sorted very soon, and we'll have all the tracks on camera at some point. But this does bring us to the end of the video. If you guys have enjoyed this one, can you please leave a like on the video down below, as I really do appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button, as it really does help me out. As always, down below in the description is my link tree, which holds all the links to all my social medias, so feel free to follow me on there. and I can't wait for the next round at Red Lodge, as I mentioned. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.